chinuch, both in terms of our children and our talmidim. So we sometimes think that perhaps the message didn't get across. Who knows whether the student or the child really understood and really appreciated and really will put into practice some of the lessons that we're trying to inculcate in them. So we should perhaps get some inspiration from the story of Yosef Tzaddik, the very, very end of Parshas Vayechi, where the Torah tells us that Yosef transmitted a Mesorah to his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, Gam b'nei Moche b'Menashe Yuldo Abirkei Yosef. The Torah describes that Yosef raised these young children, young babies of generations on his knees. So it's not just the image of physically having them literally sitting and playing on his lap, but rather, as we know, like a grandfather, a great-grandfather who tells stories, who tries to share the traditions of old with the next generations. And no doubt that Yosef was trying to transmit to these young little babies things that were important to him. And one of the things that we know that was of utmost importance to Yosef, as appears at the very end of Sefer Bereshis, is his intense desire to be reconnected to Eretz Yisrael. Yosef did not have the schus for the overwhelming majority of his life to be actually living in Eretz Yisrael, but yet he had such a chibas aretz, such a love, such a desire to be connected to Eretz Yisrael, that he begged and he pleaded with his brothers that they should make sure that in years to come, that his bones accompany the Klal Yisrael when they return back to Eretz Yisrael. And it was that intense desire and that closeness, that chibas aretz, that no doubt that Yosef tried to share with those young generations of Golus, the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the Bnei Moche b'Menashe. And who knows whether at the time the Bnei Moche b'Menashe actually internalized the lessons of Yosef, but yet history teaches us that in fact the lessons were learned. And the lessons were so internalized that it went even to further generations. And we read about in Sefer Bamidbar about the Bnos Tzlofchad, the daughters of Tzlofchad, who were actually the descendants of those Bnei Moche b'Menashe, Sheyuldo Birkei Yosef. The great plus granddaughters of Yosef were the ones who had learned the lesson through the generations, transmitted from generation to generation, from parent to child, from grandparent to grandchild, about the love, the chibas aretz. And it was those Bnos Tzlofchad who, generations, centuries later, were the ones who requested to do a lot of achazah, give us a land, give us an inheritance, give us part of Eretz Yisrael. So we should never despair by the lessons that we share with our students, with our children, with our descendants, that the lessons are listened to, they're heard. The lessons go from generation to generation, and sometimes it takes many, many years for us to see the fruit of our labor.